Splidge the Cragflinger. The Royal Tournament by Richard Vobes. Read by Richard Vobes. Prologue. The door creaked open, and the clockmaker looked up. A tall, thin man dressed in black stood in the doorway, a hood hiding his face. The cold February chill blew into the room. The old hunched clockmaker hated interruptions when he was working. It was early, and he was not expecting any visitors. "Can I help you?" he asked. The tall, thin man was silent. He looked around the workshop at the large number of clocks piled up, waiting for repair. "I'm very busy," the clockmaker said. "What do you want?" The visitor said nothing as he pushed the door shut and took a step towards the clockmaker's workbench. One solitary candle, hanging by a string over the bench, lit the tiny room, and wax dripped onto the battered surface. The meagre light was enough for the clockmaker to repair the timepieces and their maze of tiny cogs and springs. The tall, thin man's long leather coat almost touched the ground and added to his sinister appearance. Still silent, the mysterious figure reached into his pocket and placed a small, shiny object onto the table, a silver alarm clock. The clockmaker stared at it. "I made that for the king. It is the only one of its kind. Where did you get it?" "Never mind," the tall, thin man said in a frosty voice. "Can you make some more?" The clockmaker looked at the stranger for a moment, and then his demeanour changed. He remembered the clock had been difficult and time-consuming to make, so he could charge a high price. After all, there was coal to buy, and he needed more candles. "How many do you want?" 48. "Goodness, that shall take a while." "How soon can I have them?" The clockmaker considered the request. The clocks had many parts, and, without an apprentice, he made everything himself. When the calculation was done, he told the customer they would be ready in 2 years. "I want them in half that time," said the tall, thin man, as he started to count out gold coins on the workbench. Well, maybe, if I work longer hours and sleep in the shop at night, I might manage it in 15 months. "You will do it in 12, the man in black told him. The clockmaker stared at the pile of coins now stacked up in front of him. It was more money than he would ever have dared to ask for, and he nodded quickly to clinch the deal. "All right, 12 months. The door opened, and the tall, thin man went to leave, but he paused for a moment, allowing more cold air to blow past him. "Clockmaker," he said in a voice as chilled as the weather, "understand this. You have taken my money, and if you fail me, it won't just be the clocks that stop ticking in this workshop." The clockmaker shuddered and looked up from the pile of gold coins he found himself clasping. But the tall, thin man had gone.